Hello there, YouTube. I'm almost at the same place, actually. How come when you smoke a pipe, someone is bound to come by and ask for a cigarette? Found one thing that's completely unbearable about this town. The seas, it's on the seashore, so it's so goddamn windy. Cannot smoke. Properly, at least. Nevertheless, I'm struggling with my lady's leg. I can tuck a bird. I find to be just a very, very pleasant everyday tobacco. This video is VR to one of the questions asked during the giveaway I held. This one was asked by Bryce Parker, I believe, and his question was, I found it very funny and interesting. The question was, if there are aliens out there, do you think that they are smoking some kind of weeds or plants in their native habitat? Nope. No, the short answer will be, yeah, that's a possibility. Certainly a possibility, as we have examples of animals in our environment consuming something not for the sake of nutrition, but for the effect the substance has on them. So my answer to the question will be yes, but provided that the environment and the aliens themselves are remotely related to us. This question, actually, first thing I thought about was science fiction novel, one of my favorites, by a Polish author named Stanislaw Lem. The novel is titled Solaris, and if you haven't read it, I do suggest you give it a try. It's a very interesting read. It contains a sort of a personal subplot, but sort of the main plot of this novel deals with the discovery and of planet after which the novel is named, the planet of Solaris. It's actually very convenient for me, because I'm not really spoiling anything. I'm just describing the contents of the probably second chapter of the novel without delving into the plot itself. So it's just a sort of a setup for the novel. The story goes that the humanity has settled throughout the universe, and they discover a planet orbiting a double star system. There's very little land on the planet. For the most part, the surface is covered by sort of a gelatinous goo. We call it the ocean of Solaris. And the scientists believe that this planet will eventually collapse into one of the stars it orbits. That there's no life forms on the planet. And what they discover eventually is that the planet somehow stabilizes its orbit seemingly by itself. And they come to the conclusion that it's the ocean that stabilizes the planet's orbit. So it turns out that this gelatinous goo that covers most part of the planet is actually a single one living organism, almost size of the planet. So this becomes one of the major discoveries, of the history of humanity. And people are devoting enormous resources trying to make contact with this, specimen. And by the beginning of the novel, zero success. Nothing comes out of it, because the ocean doesn't communicate with humans in any way. Doesn't build, doesn't show any signs, doesn't make the slightest attempt to interact with humans that orbit the surface of the planet. And the humanity is basically, they want to withdraw from the planet because they cannot do anything with it. It's just there. They know that it possesses colossal intellectual capability. They also suspect that the planet is actually, this organism is actually, it's actually able to manipulate space-time. That's why it stabilizes its orbit. And nevertheless, zero contact and zero interest. It's completely indifferent. So, why am I telling you this? I believe this is an interesting take on the contact, because one of the characters in the novel actually says a very smart thing, I believe. That the humanity doesn't really want other worlds. It wants to expand its own world to the size of the, planet, galaxy, universe, etc. We're not really expecting anything but our own preconceived notion of, an alien, little green man, or beautiful omnipresent beings, or hostile monsters we see in 80s and 90s flicks. But it may turn out to be, quite different. From anything that we expect. So that was the long answer. And once again, the short one will be, I believe there's a possibility that aliens are smoking something. Provided they have, mouths to smoke. And provided their planet, their native habitat, is anything reminiscent of a plant to dry out and smoke. So I think that's it. The pipe is getting extremely hot in the wind. I'm getting pretty hot, even sitting in the shade. So I'll sign off. If you haven't checked Bryce Parker's channel, go give him a sub. He rightfully deserves it. Thank you very much, Bryce, for the interesting, if unusual, question. I will be back soon with more videos. And it's out. Okay, see you and goodbye.